Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Covenant Union with Ray
and Ali.
This is a podcast about marriage, about Christian living, and parenting. It's a very exciting time of the year for us. We get to celebrate 6 years of marriage.
6 whole years.
10 years of relationship. Yeah, and that is only God who could have done this for us. So in light of that, we just want to share with you let's say 6 things we have learned from marriage in the 6 years that we have enjoyed each other's company.
Yeah.
And I think we'll share 3 each.
Yeah. My number 1 lesson from our 6 years of marriage, and I really wish we had, because we knew it, we just didn't intentionally pursue God's heart. I wish we had known better. I wish we had done that from the very beginning, because the strides we've taken on a personal level as a couple in every sphere of our lives, the strides we've taken in the 2 or 3 years that we've been really intentional about seeking God and walking in His will and just doing life His way. The growth. The growth, the peace, even in the middle of a storm, there's that peace of knowing I have the backing of my Father. I have the backing of the strongest army there is. I just really wish that we had keyed into that from the very beginning. Because we're really very lukewarm Christians, like they call them.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, that is my top lesson.
Well, everyone's top lesson, I guess, if God is one of the most important things. And I think it's patience. To be patient with the outcome of everything in the relationship. That brings you into compromising, brings you into understanding someone. You can't understand your spouse without being patient with them. There's so many things that happen in their head that you have no idea about. And then there are things that you as a husband, you might want to do, but you need to be patient to learn. You need to be patient when you're learning these new things, because these habits of, let me give a simple example of making sure that your wife knows that you love her and showing her those things. For it to become a habit, you need patience, because my life was in a different place, so it was not easy being intentional being intentional in showing what you mean to me. So when I think of my top, I think through it all, from when we first met, I have been patient in understanding. I've learned patience in understanding you, in understanding the dynamics of our relationship. And the Holy Spirit has really helped. He has really helped. And if there's one thing that He has gifted me with, is patience.
Bless the Lord. My second lesson would be, I really wish I had understood from the very beginning of our relationship. Understanding that we are 2 different individuals, raised in 2 different homes, totally different backgrounds, and we are trying to merge our lives into one. So we are going to have different thought processes, different understanding and views of the world, different ways of doing things, different ways of communicating. And I think I started to learn this about 3 years ago. So the first 7 years of the relationship was I look back and I realized that most of the issues we had, if I'd understood that perspective then, we never would have had them. Or if we did, they would be easier to maneuver.
Yes.
Because we'd have like a fight, and my frustration would be, why can't you see this way? And I'm not trying to see, but where is he coming from? Why does he even view it that way in the first place?
And I'm probably saying the same thing.
Yes. So I feel like even our way of handling issues now is much different because of that. Because I'll even respect that your view is different, and we'll both come to a place of, so how do we compromise here? How do we make this workable for both of us, or for our family, or for whatever it is we are trying to resolve?
Yeah, that's true. Why can't you see things my way?
Yes. And the sad part is, when you have that mindset of why can't you see things my way, it's really a my way or no way at all kind of attitude.
It is a selfish attitude.
Such a selfish place to be in.
Yeah. And when you learn how to work together, then you see all the mistakes you made in the past. Yeah.
They're even embarrassing. Like, God, how did I think that was okay? What gave me the right? Yeah.
I was going to say share one, but no, it's alright. So, my number 2, there are 2 things that actually I think I'll put together. I thought my number 2 was more of the bidding, but when you shared that, I remembered that there is the choice of making things work. Everything in marriage is a choice. How you choose to wake up together, how you choose to love on each other, how you choose to handle situations, even the choice to compromise. And I like the way the Bible puts it when God gives us, he says, in your hands you have a choice. There's life and there's death. But then he advises and says, choose life. And in a relationship, there is a choice. It's actually life or death of the relationship. So choose life. And waking up every day to choose to make sure that this relationship is more than the papers we got, more than the rings we wear, more than sitting together in a function, has been one of my greatest lessons. That when they say charity begins at home, in KJV, charity is love. When it begins at home, it begins with the patience, the kindness, and you choose all those things, not to go to bed angry, which for human beings is almost impossible. But it is a choice. It is a choice. When you're angry, you don't want to talk about something, you choose to talk about it. And in the last 2 years, I am proud of us, because the hard conversations are hard. And the choices to move forward are intentional. And we move from one step to another. And through the 10 years of our relationship, I noticed in the last 2 to 3 years, it is very rare for us to go back to the mistake we made. Because some mistakes are habits and they keep coming in. But the intensity is reduced because we chose to work on the relationship. So choose to work on the relationship. That's my second.
You said that, and I remember something you asked me yesterday. You asked what, I think, something that I was most proud of about our marriage in the last 6 years. And I told you, in the last 3 years for me, it's changed to our willingness to show up and do the work. To not take things for granted, to not be knowers of stuff and not be doers of those things.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because if you know that even the Bible is clear on do not go to bed angry,
It is
Do
plain.
it. And
it's
it's
not,
hard.
Yeah,
it's hard. I don't want to talk to this human being right now. But do it. Those things produce fruit.
Yes, they do. Yes,
if you've purposed to do even the small things, if you've purposed to tell your spouse you love them every day, do it.
Do it.
If it's about anything, just don't be even those things that we seem to think are, people go overboard with this stuff. People, but I mean, if they're doing it and it's producing result, and you who is not doing it, you have the opposite result. Perhaps if you tried it, it wouldn't kill you.
Yeah.
So yeah. So for me, the third one, and that's something I am very intentionally working on this year, is the realization that the children are a product of the marriage, and the marriage in itself is the foundation of everything.
Yeah.
We love our children to bits, but I'm learning to water the marriage alongside the children, not to intertwine the two all the time, to actually have a space for the marriage to thrive, have a space for my relationship with the children to thrive, and then have a space for the family to thrive all together. Yeah, so those have been my 3 topmost lessons in these last 6 years.
Yeah. I was looking for the words to mention my third, and I'll borrow it from a scientist who discovered something called beads of connection.
Okay.
Yeah. So beads of connection, it is those little moments that you have with your spouse. Say, I see a nice car and I say, oh, nice car. And you don't pay attention to that. It will create a drift, because naturally as human beings we like to look for connection in the very little things. Even when you're angry and you're doing the wow,
that's your way of looking for someone to say what's going on, what's up, what's bothering you.
And once your partner turns and notices them, that is a connection. And for so long I would wonder why I'm searching for those things, and I learned to be intentional about making sure the small little things make a connection. Whether it's a book you love and I don't love it, I'll try and figure out how to make that connection, because through all these small little connections you make, it is what holds you down through the storm. And the more connections you make, the easier it is for you to come out of an argument, because you have a bag of keys to get back into a happy place. But when you ignore your partner, it reminds me of a time when we were going through a very hard relationship. How should I put it? When we were going through a very hard time in the relationship, and we never connected. There was no oh, look at this, oh, what is it about? If someone said that, there would be no connection. Our connection was, what do we need? What is next? The kids are doing this. It was business. Our relationship had become a business transaction with our talks, and then we talked it out and came out of it. When I compare that time and now, where almost everything we say is important to each other, when we get into a disagreement, I don't think we last 5 minutes in it.
I would feel like I hope this doesn't sound like bragging of some sorts, but it's actually something I'm really thankful for. But I honestly feel like we don't fight anymore.
Yeah.
Like we disagree on the technicality of the issue.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, like, it's not, oh, and then I'm mad about something. It's,
No.
oh, okay, this is how I feel about this, but then why do you feel that way? That is not what I meant. Oh, okay. All right, so just give me some time. Let me process it. And then it's...
And then the next 10 to 12, 10 to 10 to 20 minutes, you're back at talking about something, and you've actually resolved it. You resolve it. Or there's a time when we had to take a week before resolving something.
Yes.
But during that week, what were going on? Life was good, talking.
Yes.
And then we had to sit down and go like, okay, here's the topic.
Yeah, but I feel like for us that really works.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so this is the issue, but right now I feel like I still need to process it.
Yeah.
I need to pray on it. I need to understand how I'm feeling and why I'm feeling that way.
Yeah.
But we don't, and it's hard
Not
to allow it to seep into the other areas of your life.
But you make a choice.
Yes, you make the choice to say, okay, so while this thing is marinating here and I'm thinking about it, life is going to be as good as it possibly can.
Yeah. And you make the best of every single second you have with your spouse. And that, for me, the connection, the beads of connection, if you answer them, you have created a solution to many of your problems. What has been your greatest achievement in the relationship?
For me, again, it's the intentionality to show up and do the work. Really, I never saw us get to this place of complete, I don't know how to even explain it, complete surrender to the other. Like, I am showing up daily just as I am. On a day when I'm empty, I'm showing up empty. On a day when I am full, I'm showing up full. But we are going to do the work together. We are not going to allow this relationship or this marriage to be carried by one party.
Yes.
And there's a time we're talking about how people move from this place of bliss to, I can't stand this person, I want a divorce. And for me, it was that, and not to say that people have made wrong decisions in divorce, in choosing to take that, because you don't know what's going on in someone's relationship, really. So I don't like to point fingers in that area. But I also know that you can only fight with someone who wants to fight with you. You can only work on something if the other party is willing to work on it. So when you get to that place where someone has checked out and you're carrying this marriage by yourself and you're carrying a relationship alone and you're receiving 0 from the other side, then that's a very complicated situation, in my opinion.
Yes, it is.
So for me, to know that daily we wake up and say, no, I'm going to show up, I'm going to be the best wife I can be, I'm going to pour into my husband the best way I know how, and I'm going to pray over him daily. I'm like, just do the work. He mentioned peace the other day. How do I incorporate that into our day? How do I, just doing the small little things daily, they compound into something bigger. Yeah. And for you, what's been your greatest achievement?
Communication.
Yeah.
We have always talked. Actually, people say we talk a lot. I don't know how, but it seems they always see us talking. But when I say communication, I mean the deeper conversations.
Yeah.
We knew we always had to have them. We used to have them in our heads. I used to have them in my head.
But also when we did have them verbally, it was either you're accusing someone, you're being disrespectful, you're being like, you can communicate properly without belittling somebody. You can communicate without making
attacking them.
Yes, without attacking someone. Yeah.
So our communication really changed, and it is in a place where we choose to understand, we choose to listen, active listening, and we don't talk over each other. We have never been a couple that shouts.
Thank God.
Never.
Yeah.
Like when you get angry, your mouth goes. It just ties up, and I can't explain it, but it gives you enough time to think it through. And now I think I've reached the point where when an argument is coming, there's that silence, and I'm processing what you're saying and taking it into my little head and trying to figure out where you're coming from and how it is. And I don't answer. I don't answer back. I don't interject. I want to hear the whole story till the end. And when I've processed, then I first ask you how it is. Is this what you mean? And if it's not, find another way to explain it. And I noticed that process. People say it works. I'll tell you it's 100%. Because when that is happening, before you know it, the anger is now going away because there's something you're concentrating on. You're concentrating on understanding your partner. So the anger starts to fade during
that process,
the process of the disagreement. And that for me has been an amazing achievement. Yeah. And we no longer stonewall each other.
True.
Yeah.
True.
We no longer go quiet.
Even when, like I was saying earlier, that when I need space to process something, not allowing it then to interfere
with the rest of,
then I'm not talking to you for the next 5 days because I'm trying to process something that,
Yes. And there is the communication still. That's the beautiful part. That I need time. Give me a week to process this. Give me 2 days to process this. Another person knows, okay, we have 2 days to get back to this. It also helps the other person to go and search. And the truth is, no one can force you to search out your mind or your heart. You have to do it on your own. And communication goes deeper than just the words. It is the choice of making sure that you both understood.
It's active listening, it's understanding, it's then active following up.
Oh yes.
Whatever the resolutions might be.
So those are our top six. Our top 6 lessons we have had in the last 6 years.
6 and 6.
Yeah, 6 and 6. This is Raymond.
And I'm Ali.
We shall see you again next week. God bless you.
God bless you. See you soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.